Next is going to be the regional growth update. I'm going to call on Deputy City Manager Arrington, and we've got President CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, Mike Gaiman, and one of the senior VPs from the Chamber, Ms. Gary Jones, and a few others represented from the Chamber. But I'm going to ask Deputy City Manager Arrington to introduce this topic, this subject, and those parties who are going to be speaking today.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. About 3 years ago, the City Manager brought to the Council a recommendation for us to move ahead with hiring a consultant to update our comprehensive plan. The comp plan being that primary policy tool that we use for land use decisions, development issues, and community development. At the same time, we also discussed with Council working with the Valley Partnership Joint Development Authority on pursuing federal grant funds through the Office of Economic Adjustment to assist us in the region in preparing for the impact of BRAC. Through the hard work of Gary Jones and his staff, specifically Larry Crane and his grant writing ability, the region was awarded through the Valley Partnership funds for 2 planning grants, a joint land use study and a regional growth management plan. These 2 documents we felt like at the time, and now we know for sure, complement our comprehensive plan. The document that was just handed to you by Will Johnson from our planning department, who is our point person on this project, shows how the 3 documents, the city's comp plan, the joint land use study, and the regional growth management plan work together. And there are areas that our comp plan did not cover, either the joint land use study or the regional growth management plan did. Of course, our comp plan looks at issues within our city limits. The other 2 documents look at specific elements from a regional basis and how things that happen outside of Columbus impact us, and how things that we do inside Columbus impact outside, and then all of it focused toward Fort Benning and the impact that that growth has on our community. So at this time, I'd like to ask Mike Gaiman, President CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, to come forward to introduce Gary and the Regional Growth Management Plan.
Thank you, David, and Mayor and Council and Administration. Thank you for this opportunity. Gary Jones is our Senior Executive Vice President of Military Affairs at the Chamber. We're very blessed to have Gary leading our military affairs efforts. Most of you know he's a former garrison commander at Fort Benning. So when we start talking about military opportunities and military reasons for where we are and where we're headed, we're very blessed to have Gary with us. If you measure plans by volume, this is one of 10 county plans that have been developed through the Regional Growth Management Plan. This is Muskogee counties, and there's one for the other 9 counties that we were working with through this Regional Growth Plan. This was the largest planning effort that, as we were told, in the whole United States, looking at 10 counties and 2 states on the impact of what's going to happen with the military upon this region. This region, as you and I know, dollars don't know where they cross from one county to another county, one city to another city, one state to another city. We are a region, and our region operates exactly that way. When you look at this slide, what it shows you is that we have joint connectivity with 2 states, with the Armor and Infantry, and also through the Valley Partnership, and our Chamber staff is a coordinating effort for that. As you are aware, we have targeted 8 different target industries. We call them cluster groups. And you've heard Becca and Dick Ellis from the Development Authority come before you and talk about our efforts in economic development. Specifically today, we're just going to talk about the defense industry, which is a tremendous target industry cluster for us now and in the future will continue to be. When we run the numbers, and if you can't measure it, it won't get done. Here are the brief numbers that you see there, the impact of the model that has been developed of Fort Benning. 11,000 new jobs, $3.5 billion capital investment. if we were to be able to recruit a company that would employ 11,000 people and spend $3.5 billion, we might even think of changing the name of the city for that. I mean, that's how obviously big it is. Then when you look at Aflac, that is currently expanding 2,000 jobs and $100 million capital investment. And then right up the road, in part of our Valley Partnership, Kia has announced 3,000 direct jobs, and as you know, there's at least that many indirect jobs coming from other suppliers, and a $1.2 billion capital investment. And then thanks to you, thanks to your support, thanks to your leadership and what you've done to help us recruit NCR, NCR has announced 872 jobs, $27 million capital investment. In October, there will be a big ceremony that all of you will be invited to. I'm pleased to tell you NCR is already at 100 employees. They're already ahead of schedule. And I think what Councilman Woodson was mentioning, for the second year in a row, our Valley Partnership Chamber staff received the Deal of the Year at the Georgia Economic Development Association's annual meeting, and the NCR project got the Deal of the Year. That's the kind of thing, the kind of effort that we're putting forward to create jobs and capital investment. These numbers are the same. They're consistent. These are the numbers ever since the first BRAC numbers were put forward. These have not changed. You will hear all kind of numbers. Gary Jones is going to give you some more numbers, but these are the numbers that Fort Benning has. These are the numbers that Washington has. These are the numbers that we have been consistently talking about, the impact upon the growth of Fort Benning in our area. As you see there, we're talking about the city the size of Rome, Georgia, being put down in our region. 28,000 people coming here over the next several months and a couple of years. The impact is going to be significant of people moving here, school children, and jobs. This slide also has been constant. It has not moved. We know some folks, they heard a lot about BRAC and the impact of BRAC, but they didn't want to hear when. This is the when. And this chart is the same chart that we've been talking about for the past 5 years. When we will see significant growth and development in our region. It is pictured right there. This time next year, some people are going to wake up and say, what in the world is going on? What's happening to our region? And we'll say it's just the evidence of what we've been saying consistently for several years. This last slide I just wanted to show you is, while these are initial numbers, we are really drilling down as deep as we can go to say, okay, how does that apply to me? When you see this chart and you see the number, for example, of captains, or the estimated number of lieutenants, or the estimated numbers of other positions coming in, and what their salaries represent, in addition to the benefits that would come along with it. When we talk about the $3.5 billion capital investment, this is just one more way to slice it. I will tell you, this regional growth plan, we've had over 400 volunteers involved with this. Your staff, this city has been absolutely side by side with all the consultants and all the folks working to make sure we're paralleling what the city's growth management plan was about as well. We don't have two separate documents. They're all in concert together. This study was done, thanks, as David said, to the support of the federal government. We were able to get this study done for these 10 counties, of which Muskogee County is one, at no cost to you, direct cost. This is a pretty important document. It parallels what you've already done, and they are consistently compatible with one another. With that, I'll call on Gary to come up and go through the other aspects of the Regional Growth Management Plan, and we'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have. But I want to thank you for your support. Thank you for working with us. Thank you for being visionary to realize our region is going to benefit. When one part of our region grows, the rest of our region has a benefit to take advantage of that as well.